Alright guys, welcome back to another fanfiction idea, and this one's going to be kind of an animation adaptation of a storyline, and that storyline is the cosmic Marvel event called War of Kings. So, in this version of the story of War of Kings, in this continuity, what has happened is that the Gems of Homeworld and the royal family of Jurai are coming together. The Diamonds and the royal family of Jurai are coming together to sign like a peace treaty because also this is not in continuity with anything going on over at the Infinityverse. But yeah, so basically what's going on is that the Diamonds and the Juraian royal family are coming together to sign like a peace treaty because it's kind of like they're tired of war, and also the Diamonds are trying to turn over a new leaf. So they're like, hey, we'll just, we're the two most powerful empires in the galaxy. We're tired of this shit. Let's just sign over a treaty with each other. So the peace treaty is there, but what's going on is that, and this is a huge event in the galaxy, is that you have two very powerful empires forming a peace treaty, and it's gonna, that's a big deal throughout the galaxy. And thousands of other empires and, warlords and other, people are watching. But what happens is that an attack happens in the form of this sudden black hole that is generated in the middle of the peace talks and sucks in the Diamonds as well as the Juraian royal family. So both both leaders of the two respective galaxies are like, oh fuck, they're gone. So they're literally, the two empires are also now blaming one another for the attack, and it's really bad. But the first thing is they have to find heirs to the throne. They have to find heirs before anything else can be done because we need stability. Now it's a little easier for the Juraian royal family because while a good amount of it got seemingly wiped out, the big thing was that there are still heirs to the throne. Namely Tenchi and Ayeka. Name got away from me. Yeah, Tenchi and Ayeka and Ayeka's little sister. So there are still three heirs to the throne. And Ayeka's a little more Tenchi has no idea how to be a king of Jurai, but Ayeka's oh, don't worry, this I already know the whole shit, so I can help because Tenchi's like, wait, you're putting me in charge? And they're like, no, we're going to put Ayeka in charge and you're going to marry her. And yes, I'm aware that Ayeka is technically his aunt. But that's how Tenchi Muyo do with the Juraian royal family. They really do stress keep it in the family. And of course Ryoko's not happy with this, but she's being forced to go along with this whole plan because it's well, fuck, what do we do now? Meanwhile, it's a little more complicated on the Diamond side, because really there's only one Diamond left now. And it's Steven, who has no idea how to be a ruler. He can be a leader of Little Homeworld, but he's never really been a ruler before. And when the Homeworld gems arrive to go get him, they're literally so listen, you're in charge now. Yeah, listen, your aunts and your grandma are gone. They're literally gone. We don't know if they're alive or dead, but here's the situation. They're gone. And you're the only one left. You are technically still technically Pink Diamond's son. Therefore, you are the heir to her throne. If it was Pink here, she would be the one leading the gems. But she's not. You are. So the line of succession here, it's a little muddled on the Homeworld side, but they're yeah, technically speaking, Steven has all the authority of a Diamond. So they're look, you're in charge. That's just how it's going to be. So you have these two young heroes who have never been a leader before, and now they're being thrust into a situation that they have no idea what to do. They literally have no plan on on what comes next. They literally have like, what the fuck do we do now? Like, they literally have no plan for what comes next. It's literally like, what? Like I said, Tenchi is a little more smoothed into it because Ayeka is a little more, like, she's obviously known, like, a lot of Juraian, like, royal code and whatever, but Tenchi has to be put in it because he's also one of the heirs. He's a prince of Jurai. Yosho, his grandfather's a little too old, and he doesn't want to go back to... He's the crown prince of Jurai, but he doesn't want to go back home. Tenchi, you go! Anyway... Meanwhile, it's a little harder for Steven, but he does bring Connie and the crystal gems, all of them, with him back to Homeworld so he can be like a leader. Where the gem, meanwhile, keep in mind that while all of this is going on, Jurai and Homeworld are gearing up for total interstellar war. And empires that big are it's kind of a big deal when two major empires go to war. It's very much like in World War I, where one side was like, I'm going to go into a... It's kind of like World War I, where it's like, the best way to describe World War I is basically a fucking bar fight. That's literally it. It's like, okay, if I start a fight with this guy, you got to back me up. Okay, if that guy starts a fight with me, you got to back me up. So it's kind of like that with the interstellar side, because now... all these other pieces are going together because another open war between Jurai and Homeworld is a bad idea. And they even tell, like, and even some of the gem generals are pull Steven aside and be like, so there was another reason why why the Diamonds wanted peace with Jurai? We can't do another war. We literally cannot fight another war. We couldn't do it before because literally what had happened was that we were running out of steam. You know, conquering planets ain't what it used to be, and even if we start a fight now, keep in mind, most of our weapons, the Diamonds had most of our weapons we had most of our weapons de-armed, and most of our warships taken apart to appease, to give the aura that we are changing as a society. So we're fighting on a literally we're going to fight a handicapped war, whereas Jurai literally has all their warships, their armies, everything. If they do decide to go to war, we are fucked. Like, if Jurai goes to war with Homeworld, like, we need help. Like, we need allies to Homeworld. Problem is, Homeworld did some really nasty shit, and we can't get anyone's backup on this. So we literally cannot get anyone to back us on this. And that doesn't help Steven's psyche, because he's, again, being thrown into a situation he has no idea what to do, and now he's being told if they do go to war, it will be a fucking massacre. Because, yeah, Steven, once again, like, the other gems want to help him, and he even brings Jasper along. So yeah, this is a little further into, like, past Steven universe future, so Steven is still dealing with a lot of mental trauma, so he asks, like, he needs military advice, so he goes to the two best ones who have military advice, or three I should say, are Bismuth, Pearl, and Jasper. So he asks them for military advice, whereas Garnet and Connie are kind of like his advisors, are basically like, okay, here's what we need to do. And, well, that's Garnet. Garnet's more of an advisory role, whereas Connie is more like, you need to sit down and eat and sleep. That's what you need to do. You literally need to be like, just sit down, get some rest, just chill out for like you need an hour to yourself. So Connie's there to keep Steven in check. Amethyst, Lapis, and Peridot are there to be like extra support, but really the main ones who are doing most of the work are Garnet as advisor and Bismuth, Jasper, and Pearl, kind of like his war council. even though he doesn't want a war, he's there. Steven, of course, doesn't want to open a war. A, because that's not who he is. B, that, if they do have to go to war, he realizes, oh shit, these guys could easily kill us. Meanwhile, on the Juraian side, Ayaka's like, oh yeah, she's telling Tenchi all of this, and she's like, okay, here's what happened. We believe it was the Homeworld. We think it's a super weapon that they used, but it backfired and sucked them in too. So they only have one person left to really be a threat to us. And Tenchi's like, well, why don't we just negotiate? If they're at such a handicap, we're at a place, technically speaking, we're at a place of power. Why don't we just negotiate? And Ayaka takes that as, oh, that's a good idea, Tenchi. We should totally get him in a chokehold and force them to surrender to us. We can tear apart the Gem Empire. And Tenchi's like, no, that's not what I meant. So as the two sides are gearing up for war, there's other empires out there that are like, what do we do now? Because if Jurai and Homeworld get into another war, it's going to spiral out of control, and we're all going to get sucked into it. Cybertron's on high alert. Salamandria's on high alert. What were the other planets in here? The Visionaries' Homeworld is like in disarray about this, because they're all like watching, like, oh, if they do go to war, we are so screwed. But now you're probably wondering, well, who is behind this? Who was behind this scheme? The person behind this scheme is Kagato. Kagato is the one who created the black hole generator and banished the Juraians and the Diamonds into like a pocket universe. He didn't kill them; he trapped them in a pocket universe via the black hole machine, the black hole generator. And why he did that was because now he has hostages, and he can also like feed off the energy from them. And he wasn't working alone. The person helping him was Unicron. Kagato is secretly serving Unicron as his new herald. Yeah, no longer Galvatron. It is Kagato is Unicron's new herald, and Kagato is working with Unicron, and he Unicron he's weakened. He is severely weakened, and he is always known as the Chaos Bringer. So what Unicron is trying to get Kagato to do is to start this war and tear the galaxy apart. And then he'll be at that point. No one's going to be able, no matter how. He can just mosey on in and start eating planets again. Because, yeah, he's too weak to take on a united galaxy. But if the galaxy's in total disarray like it used to be, if it's in just a total state of just a war looking without end, Unicron could just mosey on in and start eating planets again and regain his power, and also wipe out the galaxy of any threat to him. And Kagato is working with Unicron because A, he wants power, and B, he can finally take out the Juraian royal family along the way. So that's what Kagato gets out of working with Unicron. So, yeah. So that's basically the whole story in a nutshell. Is just this big cosmic event with Unicron in the background, looking to basically pulling all the strings of being like, yeah, Unicron, after getting his ass handed to him twice, he's no longer in a powerful place, so he has to depend on Kagato to do his work for him. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this story? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. And once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.